So as usual, let's first start off with the deck. The deck is made up of carbon fiber, which is almost 37.5 inches in length and a little over 10 inches in width. The max load is 265 pounds and the board itself weighs 36 pounds. The grip tape is pretty standard, definitely locks you in, but it's not padded. The deck has 48 inbuilt mounting points for customizable placement for any riders that want to utilize binding. So whether you're goofy stance or regular stance, the holes are already set for either or. The concave in this board is quite unique. It's very special. It has flares that kind of rise up on all the edges that actually meet together with the concave itself. So I will definitely say this has the best concave out of all the mountain board style boards I've ever ridden. So with the boards like the first generation Lorentz Major and the Cali NYC, I've owned both of those boards and I never really liked that giant hump in the middle. That giant hump in the middle forced my stance to be very wide, and I don't like having a wide stance. With this board, I can have my stance natural, so it will still feel like a longboard, yet still have that kind of mountain board style feel underneath my feet. The first generation Lorentz Major and the ASEC NYX are both mountain board style decks, and those were very stiff decks and also forced my stance to be incredibly wide. Now this is technically not a true mountain board, but I think that's a good thing. A true mountain board has a top mounted battery that sits right in the middle of the deck. This allows for more clearance when off-roading, and also when you land on the board during a jump, you don't actually break the battery. Now, I think it's safe to say about 90% of the community does not hit jumps on their electric skateboard. However, from what it seems like with Evolve's content, it seems like they are hitting some jumps with this board, so I believe the deck and the enclosure can take it. But for everyday riding like myself, it's very comfortable and has that snowboard snapback feel. As for the wheels, the Renegade Diablo comes standard with 7-inch knobby pneumatic tires. Out of the box, it comes standard with the black colored knobbies, but I had the blue colored ones sitting around for about 2 years and I only used them about 2 or 3 times, so they definitely had under 30 miles on them. Now in case you're wondering about the hubs, I painted them myself. Just don't buy cheap spray paint. Now all the knobby tires have extremely good grip, but from what I'm told, the blue and the purple ones wear faster than the black ones. This is what it looked like on the first day of riding, and 3 rides later, you can see the wear in the middle has tremendously gone down. Now with that deck stance, the clearance, the flex it has, and these off-roading tires, this board is so much fun off-roading. It can easily plow through your local BMX track, the grass at your local park or neighborhood, and of course, very good grip for street shredding. Check it out. As for the trucks, Evolve is calling these the Renegade forged trucks, which obviously means that they're made out of forged CNC and they're 15.5 inches in width and still utilizing 8mm axles. Now all the other channel trucks I've ever used, there's always 2 different positions to mount the bushings, but with Evolve's Renegade trucks, they only have 1 position. They're also utilizing a spring channel design, which means the bushings are positioned inside the springs. Now out of the box, it comes with black 60A bushings on the front and the rear, but on the website they do have availability for yellow 80A bushings to sit inside these springs. They're also only $2 each, so I always recommend playing around with different durometer bushings. Just like I always mention, the more experience the better. When it comes to wheels and bushings, I always recommend trying all kinds of different things. You never know what you might really like. Channel trucks have a single shaft design, which gives only kind of side-to-side movements, which normally I really don't like. I've had about half a dozen boards with channel trucks and none of them carve like this. When you ride and test as much boards as me, you start to learn every little detail about every little behavioral trait in every board. No other boutique board, mountain board, or off-roading style board has the carve like this and the stability. Now, I'm not saying no other boards out there with channel trucks have this carvability or stability. I'm saying none of them have this carvability and stability together. Usually when I step on a channel truck design board, it has crazy stability and you can go really fast in a straight line and have no issues, but it sacrifices a lot of carve. Or it's the other way around. I have lots of carve, super loose trucks just to gain some carve, but then the stability is sacrificed. Now I'll admit I don't ride channel trucks often, but these do not feel like channel trucks. And in my opinion, that's a good thing. As to the motors, the Renegade Diablo is utilizing 6.3, 7.4, 160 kV, 3500 watt belt drive motors. As for the ESC, Evolve is utilizing the new Efoc 2.0 pushing 200 amps. Now, I've been saying this since the Haitian came out in 2021. The Evolve Efoc series has the smoothest throttle curve with the most power. I'm not saying it's the most powerful board on the market. I'm saying no one else has the power and the smooth throttle curve that the Efoc system has, plus all the customization and the safety features it has. Speaking of safety features, the Evolve Phaze remote is CNC aluminum framing, so it is now very durable and not extremely fragile like the older models. Now, the Phaze remote has so many features. I did 2 separate videos explaining the remote and all the features it comes with, including some new features that have good safety precautions. So I'll put the link below for these 2 videos that have more in-depth look at the remote. As for the battery, the Renegade Diablo is utilizing a 12S 4P 864 watt hour, 20 amp hour, utilizing Samsung 50S cells. So not only is this a flexible enclosure to go with the flexible carbon fiber deck, the enclosure has a new inner seal and a new lid to prevent water from getting in. Now, mountain boards normally have a top mounted battery sitting on the center of the deck that gets in the way of your stance. I personally don't like that. I prefer this nice, sleek, slim, nice finish and flexible enclosure underneath my feet, and to make it still feel like an electric longboard. As for range, I'm a 160-pound rider and the temperature was about 76 degrees Fahrenheit. I rode about 75% in Corsa mode and about 25% in sport mode. Now, with the Bamboo Diablo giving the same exact specs, I did 75% sport mode and 25% Corsa mode, and I got 39 miles. So this time I got 30.5 miles riding in mostly Corsa mode. 10% left, over 26.5 miles, and I actually did 1 mile when I first got this, so that's technically 27.6 miles, 10% left. Let's do a quick acceleration test. Quick acceleration test with 10% left. 1, 2, 3, go. That's just only 10% left. So a few things worth mentioning. I did not do any performance tests on this board because this has the same exact performance results as the Diablo Bamboo. So the top speed test at 31 miles per hour, the hill test, the acceleration test will all be the same as the Diablo Bamboo. Now, lots of boards come with bash guards, but this one is the most convenient and comfortable I've ever felt. It has plenty of space for you to grab it with your hands, unlike many other bash guards. It's very convenient, easy, and comfortable to hold, and of course it protects your motors as well. I don't know, I just feel like a lot of off-roading boards are a hassle to carry around. With this, it's simple. Now, what I don't like about these channel trucks is they cannot be adjusted. Usually with channel trucks, like I mentioned before, you have an inner and outer position that dramatically affects the carve and stability, but also on a traditional channel truck, you can also tighten and loosen up the bushings so you can actually affect little by little the carve and stability the way you want. But with these, you cannot do that. So I think Evolve should at least include both durometer bushings with every purchase of a Renegade Diablo. Now, what I like about the rear truck area is the cable management. With their earlier model boards, their cable management system just simply sucked. So they learned from their mistakes, and now their cable management system is very sleek, durable, and very well put together. Now, the enclosure has the same lights in the front and the rear, just like the Bamboo Diablo does, and also just like the Bamboo version, you have the ports that you can install the Efoc prism lights. I made a video on this on how to properly install them. So if you want more lights, just like my Bamboo Diablo, it'll light up just like this, and you control all the light settings from the remote, and they're only $24.99. Now, I did put some 120mm FE cloud wheels on this, and it looks great, but I personally didn't really like the way it felt. It's awesome feeling low to the ground, and it has that awesome stance, but for some reason, I prefer cloud wheels on traditional Kingpin trucks only. Now, I doubt Evolve recommends putting street wheels on this, but I'm just letting you know it's possible. Now, I did order the board with bindings. They didn't show up yet, so I'll do a revisit video. Now, I've tried bindings on other friends' boards before, and I didn't really like it. But riding this more and more off-roading, putting pressure on one side of the board to make a sharp turn with dirt underneath the wheels that easily breaks traction, I can understand why riders prefer bindings. But with my personal riding style, I need access to bail. But most importantly, practice makes progress. With more and more practice, I got better and better taking these sharp turns and still controlling the board even while it's breaking traction underneath my feet. So I'm sure the board will be great with the bindings, but it's hella fun even without them. Now, as usual, Evolve's unboxing experience is pretty much the best. The box within the box keeps the boards very secure during transit. Then you have that kind of X-ray preview that shows the diagram of the board and kind of acts like a quick reference guide. Then, of course, once you open up the box, you have the board and it's extremely well packaged and the polish is like no other. I probably unbox anywhere from 3 to 5 boards a month, and no one else gives this unboxing experience. Underneath your board, you have your accessory kit, which entails your 5-amp charger, your Phaze remote, your skate tool, and your manual. As for the price, with our discount code, the price of the board is $26.49 US. Now, do I think that's overpriced? I sure do, but I still think Evolve should be higher priced than most boards out there, especially compared to any other 12S4P setup. They certainly have the most polish and finish. They have the best customer service. They have more user-friendly features than any other brand on the market. They thoroughly test their boards and show it on YouTube, along with legitimate, awesome, aggressive riders. They also have tutorials on their YouTube that helps the e-skate community, and their smooth Efoc system, along with their power, is the best in my personal opinion. Now, at the very end of my range test and filming, I finally got a malfunction with the board. It started having these random twitches here and there, didn't lock up on me, it didn't break automatically, nothing like that. So I emailed Evolve what was going on. I showed them a photo of the remote that exposes the latest software. I showed the remote screen that shows the board's temperature, the battery temperature, and the full data of the actual battery cells. And then the very next day, they emailed me back. And with that email was an attached shipping label so I could send back the board. No hassling, no telling me to take apart something, no being ghosted by a China brand company that just wants your money and never wants to hear from you again. They make it so simple by sending you a shipping label and actually emailing you back within 1 business day. I remember when I bought my first Meepo Hurricane, I had a bad battery 3 weeks after the review, and it took me a total of 1 year to get a new battery from them. Then with my onboard Zeus Pro, the deck started cracking and they didn't want to send me a new deck, even though it was under warranty. So can you get other boards with higher specs for less money? Sure, but don't think malfunctions are not common with other cheaper brands. My point is, saving some money up front isn't always your best deal. Saving $100 to even $500 up front and then having a malfunction with the board and then the company not even responding to your emails is an absolute terrible feeling. Now, when a product malfunctions, that's when you really put the company to the test. In my experience, I've had an Evolve Stoke with a bad battery and an older GTR with a bad motor. Both times, Evolve has made it right. Call me crazy, but to me, that holds a lot of value. Final thoughts. Now, this is not a true mountain board, but yet it is not a 2-in-1 board. At first, I thought I wouldn't like it, but boy was I wrong. This carves like a 2-in-1 board, has the flex and snap back like a snowboard, and at the same time perform very good off-roading. Now, is this the best off-roading board? No, I don't think so. Does this have the best top speed out of any electric skateboard? No. Does it have the most range out of any electric skateboard? No. But this is what I am sure of. Evolve by far has the best trucks for carvability and stability together. I'm not saying they're the most stable trucks ever. I'm saying them together with the ratio of carvability and stability together is the best in the market. Now, same thing for their ESC. They by far have the best ESC because of the ratio of their tremendously smooth throttle curve and the aggressive power delivery. Again, it might not be the most powerful board on the market, but it certainly has the most power with the smoothest throttle curve. But I will say this, no other production board has this power in my experience except the highest Nomad series from Ace-Deck. I also believe that Evolve by far makes the best decks. They also have the best polish and finish, which is an amazing feeling when you buy a brand new board and you unbox it. You spend all this money and the reward is so worth it. They also have the best customer service with around the world retail centers along with service shops, and they also have the best user-friendly features. I've been saying this for a while now. Every e-skater should own and Evolve sometime in their e-skate career. And with the Diablo series, now is definitely the time. Thank you for watching, guys. Please comment, like, share, subscribe. Have a good one, guys.